Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 18th of February 2023, and welcome back to the channel. Oh, shit me. Yes, it is a 10th stream. What does that mean? It means we're opening up a special bottle of Jack Daniels, and this one is a real special one. I know I say that every time, but this one is special because, well, it's bold and spicy. And the idea of it being bold is bold. The idea of it being spicy is spicy. And bold and spicy sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It sounds amazing. I'm not too sure what to expect here. I know it's a rye-based whiskey and it's going to have spices and boldness. I want to start it straight away, but I'm going to just hold off a little because I know it's a little quiet in here. I don't see anybody chatting. I see 4 watching and only 1 upvote. Can you do me a solid flavor and tap the like button? I did put that in the chat. If you can tap the like button, maybe just YouTube will slide this out into the algorithms and more people will get to see it. Mainly the people that like Jack Daniels. I'm going to sneeze. I can feel it. Oh, did I suck that sneeze back down? I don't know. It's just tweetering on the edge there. Hey, by the way, a little warm right now, and I have no AC. So if I start getting hot and sweaty... Yo, John, how you doing, man? There are 2 likes now. Thank you, John C. Appreciate you, man. If I start getting hot and sweaty, it's because I am hot and sweaty. The temperature's warm. I'm trying my best not to worry about it, but I haven't got any AC. It's broken. I'm going to remedy that before next summer, but it's already... Shit, it's only a few more weeks until the end of summer anyway this year, so I can go through this year without it, and then next year I'll reassess. What can I tell you, though? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? In the Chisel chat right now, I'm going to be posting links. Now, these links, I say this every single time, but this is just for you yahoos that are interested in Jack Daniels. If that's the only reason you're on this channel, the Jack Daniels reviews, well, what I'm doing right now, I'm putting links into the chat. This is the YouTube chat, by the way. If you're watching anywhere else, you won't be seeing these links, but you got to come over to YouTube. And those links are time-stamped links to every time on one of these streams that we've opened up a special bottle of Jack. We've been doing this now for a long time. And, well, this is bottle number 27 or something, I think. The idea is that the bottles will never, ever repeat themselves. We'll never open up the same thing over again. And the best thing about the links the links that the bot is putting in the chat is that they are timestamped links. So when you hit that link, not only do you go to that stream, but you go to the specific spot in the stream when we open the bottle. Now, I like to waffle a bit. I like to talk a bit. I like to get a little, I like to get into it before I open it. So if you're waiting for the opening for this bottle behind me, that'll be very, very soon once these links roll and we move into it. We'll get into it. While that happens, John C., right now it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere. Yes, yeah, you guys are in your winter and we're in our summer, last couple of weeks thereof. Our summer finishes on the 1st of March. It's now the 18th of Feb, so there's a couple more weeks to go, and then we should be moving into cooler temperatures into the winter, heading towards the coldest that it ever gets here, which isn't very cold. I will be getting a heater for winter, but I do not need a heater. I feel like I can get through the end of this without an AC. I mean, I just had a little evaporative air condensation sort of... I don't know how it works. You put water in it and it comes out cold air. Keep topping the water up. That used to point straight at my face. It was bloody marvelous. I spilt water on top of it. Didn't like that. So I won't be getting one of those again. What else can I tell you? Yeah, if you're watching this stream and you're not on YouTube, I see the views on DLive. Come on down to YouTube. This is a YouTube stream. I'd love you to be here with me, hanging out on the tubes. Also, I'm looking down the scroll list bar machine. No one on Twitch at this moment. That's cool. Well, if you're watching the replays on any other platform and you're thinking, how come this guy's not engaging with me? It's simply because I'm not seeing your comments. Now, there is the last link there, Mr. Jack's 160th birthday tasting. That's the last time we opened up a special bottle of Jack. So let's get into this bottle of Jack. Here it is, folks. This is what we've got behind me here. The Jack behind me is Tennessee Traveler, bold and spicy. This guy originally, when this first hit the markets in 2021, it was only available at duty-free stores in Germany. And not just any duty-free. It was only available at the Heinemann's duty-free store, outbound or incoming in Deutschland. I don't know why they do that. The Jack Daniels or Brown-Forman, they do specific releases staggered over the internet, over the globe, this flat earth we live on. This one was particular to Germany. Now, I picked them up in Australia, coming inbound from New Zealand. Shit, I have to remember. Where did I go last year? New Zealand. That's because that rule or that release staggered schedule has changed. So you can get these. I've actually seen them local in Australia, but they're extremely expensive. And when I say local, I mean not a duty-free store. So originally you had to go to a duty-free to get this, or you had to go in and out of the country, and it had to be Germany. Now you can get them pretty much willy-nilly, but you got to be willing to pay for it. Speaking of Tennessee, John, I got to visit Nashville because they got some cool music to listen to in that city. Right on. I bet they do. This is a whiskey stream, though. Music will have to come later, and it will. Today we're doing a celebratory measure of Tracer. 5 years gone to the day, 2 days ago. I couldn't do it on the day. I'll talk about that later, though. We're deep in the midst of a whiskey stream here. So yeah, now it's available anywhere, more or less. This is actually number 2 in the Tennessee Traveler series, not to be confused with Tennessee Tasters. The Tennessee Tasters were the little hip flask bottles, only available in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and then progressively in certain markets over the planet. Very expensive, those ones, and smaller. This guy is 500 ml, but those Tennessee Tasters were 350. A regular bottle of Jack is 700 or 750. This is a small bottle. It's not just my massive hands and my big fat head. This is actually a small 500 ml bottle. A bit lousy. I don't know, like the funky times we live in where it's like smaller serves and a bigger price. Get the fuck out of here. Make a bigger serve with a smaller price. Remember when fun-size Mars bars came out? What's fun about this big? That's not fun. Fun would be this big. So I don't agree with these smaller bottles, but what can you do? That's all these didn't come out in anything else. They're only 500 mils, not 600, not 700, not 375, not a liter, just a simple 500 mil. Get your hand around it, big size, big hand, small bottle, big hand. Interestingly, this is a rye mash, 70% rye, 12% barley, 18% corn. It says on the back here, I can read it if I get out my reading glasses. Hendrik, I don't know if you're in the chat, but check this out, my friend. Oh, shit, yeah. Bold and spicy. The taste. This well-rounded rye whiskey brings out caramel, or is that caramel? Caramel and dry baking spice. Shit, yeah. Aroma. An enticing blend of sweet, soft fruit layered with soft, sweet fruit, new part of that sentence, layered with underlying rye spice and oak. Oh, what a load of wank. Sounds a little bit, just get to the car chase. The finish, peppery rye character on the back end. Who doesn't love a good peppery rye back end? This guy, shit me, 53.5% alcoholic beverage by volume. That is a whopper. 53.5. What? Regular Jack is 40%. Shit. That's a whopper, huh? Put these reading glasses away, skis. So that's what it is. The only other thing to do here is to try it. Before I do though, I want to thank the people who donated to the Jack Behind Me Fund on DLive to enable the purchase of this. There is a story behind the purchase of this, and I want to tell that once we've cracked it and sampled it. So let's do that right now. Let's slide the seal. Slide that seal all the way down. Love a good seal. Oh, it's a twist top. I was hoping for a cork. Lousy. Okay. Oh, shit. What did that say again on the nose? On the nose, sweet, soft fruit layers with rye and oak. I gotta shake this shizzle. Shake it till you fake it. Let me see this sweet, soft fruit layer. And I want you to see the label while I do this. It's definitely sweeter than old number 7, which I refer to as regulation Jack. You know, it's got a bit more of a 1907 sort of scent. 1907 is white label Jack Daniels, only available in the Australian market of all places. Comes in at 38% by volume and a little sweeter on the nose. That's what this is giving me. But this has got a bite to it as well. Sweet bite. I love a good sweet bite. Damn, dude. All right, well then, in that case, let me beverage a pour. Let's see how we go. Just got a little section here neat. If you want to see me mix this with Coke later on, come to the Tracer stream later on. I'll definitely be sampling a little Jack on that stream as a celebratory measure. Wow, man. All right. Cheers, you lovely specimens. Hello, skins. Jack Daniels, Tennessee Travelers, bold and spicy. How you like that? Oh, oh! What? Did it say peppery? I think it said peppery, right? What did it say on the aftertaste? Where did I see peppery? Ah, right there, peppery rye aftertaste. Dude, it's got a real edge to that pepper. Holy shit. Like the smell could be conceived as like, yep, a bit more of a sweet Jack. But as you taste it, the aftertaste, you know what it's like? It's like you've just had a steak and there's been a peppercorn, a black peppercorn that you've accidentally caught in one of your teeth and you scrape it out, like you grab it out of your teeth and you're like, ugh! And when it comes out, it's a cracked peppercorn and that cracked pepper falls out of your top tooth and lands on your tongue and you go, oh, all of a sudden there's pepper on that part of my tongue. That's what I'm getting after it goes down. After I swallow, the whole mouth is like, there's cracked pepper everywhere. It's weird, man. I can honestly say I've not had anything like this before. This flavor, afterwards, this is new to me. I've definitely had the smell. I've had that before, and I like it. But this after, this lingering peppery thing, shit, that's weird. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to a little more in here. Just a splash more. And I'm going to add a few drops of water. You know, water opens up whiskey. Just just do this. Stick your finger in a glass. Drop a few drops over the top. I mean, if you've got a pipette, you can use that as well. If you haven't got a pipette, you can use your finger as a pipette. Little opening up there of the whiskey. Don't forget it's 53 alcohol swimming around inside there. 53 and a half. Hang on. I can see the half swimming around in there by itself. There's 53 alcohols swimming around and there's a little half one in there as well. Oh, dude, that makes the peppery thing even more pop, like smash, like I was going to say vigilant, not vigilant. It makes it more vicious. The pop comes up and goes, there it is, the flavor. Shit, yeah. Dude, I'm kind of wishing, because this is such a strange flavor, I'm wishing this was local so everybody could just go out and grab it and go, oh, that's weird. Is it, okay, I guess, is it like rye? Is it like rye Jack? Not really. I mean, yes, sort of, but not quite. It's this peppery shit after it that gives you this something completely strange, something completely new and unique to me. I gotta tell you, I'm digging this. I am really digging this. I spilled some already. Are you getting sweaty yet? Yeah, there's a bit of sweat coming up there. I'm working up a sweat here doing this review. It's hard work. Let me pause and tell you an interesting story about how this bottle and myself almost came to not be. So let me tell you this. And this is a little sidestep, so if you're not interested, well, it's Jack Daniels related, but if that's all you came for the tasting and the review, consider that part of it over. Now I'm going to waffle for a bit, and then we'll say ta-ta, and we'll come back later on a kick.com stream. We're going to do kick for the Tracer stream. So, do you believe in karma? I do. In some ways I don't, and in some ways I do. But in this instance, I got a karma story that'll certainly make you question, right? So last year I was living in New Zealand and I was working for NZ Ski as a shuttle driver on the mountain, driving up and down the mountain and driving around the mountain, picking up passengers and taking them to the chairlift and the base building and all that other stuff from the car parks. Many times I would find goggles, gloves, sometimes even snowboards. People would just leave shit in the bus. Season passes. People would just leave shit in the bus. And I would find it all the time. And every single time that I found anything that would be considered lost property, I didn't just hold on to it and then drop it in at the end of the day. I would stop what I was doing, or not stop, but make my way from wherever I was on the mountain to the guest services, which is the base building. I'd run in and I'd take these items and put them in. There's this big box there, which is for lost property. I'd put them in there ASAP. And my theory with that was the person who's lost them, they're going to try snowboarding or skiing or whatever they're on the mountain for. They're going to be trying it. And they're going to realize pretty soon, like, that they've lost something. Like, it's going to be pretty quick that they go, oh shit, I'm missing a glove, or where are my goggles? The very first thing they're going to do is go to guest services for lost and found. So if I was to hang on to it throughout the day and then return it at the end of the day, it's not going to help anybody. So I'd go out of my way to do this. And by the way, at this particular point, hey Bugnana, how you doing? How you doing, man? By the way, at this particular point in my history, I needed gloves and I needed goggles. I had bought a pretty shitty pair of goggles from an op shop that had a big scratch on it and they fogged up. So I was in the market for goggles and I could have easily stolen, I guess. Is it stealing if someone's lost it? Finders keepers, lost as preepers? I don't know, but I could have easily just kept goggles and gloves. The gloves I had were good, but they smelt. So I was going to get rid of them just because they smelt. They actually worked fine, but they smelt. I could have easily kept goggles, kept gloves, and nobody would have ever known, right? People would have lost shit. My justification would have been, well, they're never going to look for it anyways. But I never did. Even when I needed the goggles, I never took any that I found in the lost and found, or in the lost, and I took them up there and put them in the thing. Anyway, fast forward. I'm coming back from New Zealand. I'm on a plane. I'm off the plane now. I've arrived at Sydney duty free and I've picked up 2 buy of this and 2 buy of the other one, which we haven't reviewed yet. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But there's a second one in the series of 2, this being number 2. Would you believe there's number 1 in that series? So I got 2 of each, which is 2 liters of whiskey, which is, you can bring in 2.25 liters of whiskey into Australia. So I was under the limit. So I brought in 2 of these and 2 of those. From Heineman's duty free in Sydney Airport, I've got my backpack on my back and my rolly bag, and now all of a sudden I've also got a duty free Heineman's bag under in my hand. So the point I'm illustrating is that I didn't have that bag before I arrived in Sydney, so it wasn't on my mind. I mean, I was stoked to have picked it up, and I was like, "Fuck, wicked, man! This is awesome." I was excited, but I hadn't been, and I was jet lagged and hungover as a dog because Schloke, if you're watching my last day in New Zealand, I did hit it quite hard. In fact, I had to get walked down my stairs to my bed that night. Thank you, Schloke, for that, if you're watching. So I was hungover and I was a little bit, I was a bit emotional. I just spent 6 months in New Zealand or 7 months in New Zealand, and I really wasn't ready to come home. And anyway, get on a train. So I'm getting a train from the airport. I get on a train. I'm sitting there. I had to change trains while I creak. I'm on the train. Pulls into Janelli, the Shire, if anyone's playing outside of the country, the Shire, Sutherland Shire. And I get off the train and leave my Heineman's duty-free bag on the train. I just walk out with my backpack and my rolly bag. The doors close. I think to myself, something's wrong. What's wrong? Shit. I left my duty-free on the train. Now, this is around about 3:45 in the afternoon, 3:45 p.m. School time, right? School time. Heaps of school kids in and out of that train. I just said to myself, that whiskey's gone, right? There's kids. There's no way that's gone. Train pulls out. I yell across the platform to the other side of the station where the station master is, and I say, "Hey, someone get the station master." Someone alerted him. He comes out. I said, "I just left something on that train. A blue bag, a duty-free bag full of whiskey." And he's like, I'll call Cronulla. It's final destination." I'm like, no, call Southo. Southo's the next station. It's going to pull into Southo next. He said, if I call Southo, I can't hold the train up. It doesn't matter. Even if I called them, they're not going to stop the train. They're going to have to do it at the final destination. I'm like, dude, there's 6 more stations between here and Cronulla. Like, just call Gaimea or call Kirrawee. Just call the and he's like, no, I have to do it. And I got angry. I was like, fuck. All right, I'm going to have to just acknowledge that this is gone. The train guard then says, I'm going to come over and talk to you. So he gets out of his little station master hut and does the full walk all the way up over quite a long walk to get to me. By the time he gets to me, the train's definitely pulled out of Southo and it's on its way to the Nulla. He stands there placating me and talking about it. And I'm like, can't you just call the train dude, like the driver, and say, can't he make an announcement? Because I know which carriage I was in. He could have just said, there's a bag in carriage B274. We know about it. I can see, because they got cameras, right? I can see the bag. Everybody leave it there. I'll come and get it. Like, someone at the station will come and get it. He was not into it at all. Not into it. Not interested in really helping at that point. He was dead set keen to call Cronulla, and that was all. Final destination. So he does. When the train pulls into Cronulla, he's next to me, so I can hear him. And the station master at Cronulla is saying, "Well, I just did a walk all the way through the train, including the carriage that this customer said they were in. There's no bag here." Station master Janelli says to me, "Dude, he just checked. It's not there." And I said, "Yeah, no shit, because it came off before it got to Cronulla, because it was on the train for that long, because you dilly-dallied around." He said, "I can't do anything else for you, man." He said, "That's all I could do, but I can call every station in between just to see. Like, I can call them all now." And I'm like, "Well, you can call each station now, but you couldn't before?" I was getting a bit pissed off, right? Because if he had have done something more efficient, more quickly, we could have easily found them. Anyway, he started calling all the stations, and by the time he got to Miranda, which is like, I guess 3 stations from where I was, sure enough, somebody had handed the bag in. The bag's at Miranda, dude. It's there. I'm like, oh wow. And I was thinking, yeah, the bag's there, but the whiskey's not, right? What kid would look into this bag and go, "Oh, there's whiskey. Yeah, I'll give that to the station master." They just handed the bag back in. And I said, "Is there anything in it?" And he goes, "What's in the bag?" And I hear 4 bottles of Jack Daniels. And he's like, 4 bottles of Jack? I'm like, what? I was like, "Yeah, that's it." And he's like, "Yeah, we got them. We're putting them on the next train. They're going to come back." So the train does a loop kind of thing and comes back the same way. So yeah, it's going to be on the next train. Just sit tight. I'm like, seriously? There's actually... So I left 4 bottles of Jack Daniels on a suburban train during school hours, and nobody stole them, but some kind soul handed them in at Miranda Station to the train guard. I was like... Karma, chameleon. Boy George, Culture Club, right? That's bizarre. And then I thought, well, what have I done to deserve that? Like, what? And by the way, they came back, and sure enough, the guy came out and went, "Here they are. Don't do that again," and handed them to me. That's how I managed to keep these. And I was thinking, what have I done to deserve this? I mean, I know what I've done to deserve the opposite of that. I know what I've done to deserve kids stealing it and drinking it and smashing them bottles and then saying, "Sucked in, you dickhead, you left them on the train, bad luck." I deserve that karma, but the good karma, I don't know if I actually deserve that. And then I thought, well, what about all those times when I could have stolen those goggles and I could have stolen gloves, and I didn't. I did all the right thing, even though it was out of my time and out of my way to go up to guest services, out of the warm bus into the cold snow and walk up into guest services and put all this shit in there. I did that every single time, and I think if you believe in Karma, 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 Karma Chameleon, and if you believe in Boy George and Culture Club, then that's an instance of karma swinging back saying, this is good on you, man. So up your bums, and karma does exist. Did you mean CarMax? That's one of the advertisements I've seen. It's very convenient if you need your car fixed. CarMax. I don't know what CarMax is, dude. Are these the goggles you use to go skiing or scuba diving? Yes, I was in New Zealand in the ski fields, so I was not scuba diving. I was definitely snowboarding. I've taken the train a bunch of times because I take public transportation instead of driving. Well, the train is very handy in Australia, certainly in Sydney. I mean, a lot of places don't use trains, but we definitely do. Hey, I see 5 watching and only 3 likes. Was that story not likable enough for you fuckers? Like that up. I just told you the greatest Karma Karma Chameleon story, and I only got 3 likes out of it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying my hardest here. It's sweaty, it's hot. I got my dad's cufflinks on. I've got a beautiful green shirt that I only wear on these Jack Daniels streams, and I only get 3 likes. Have I taught you Yahoo's nothing? Get in there and like this shit up. That helps, right? If you don't want to help me, then don't. But if you do want to help me, then do. Let's talk more action. I don't see the... I see 4 now. Who hadn't liked it? John, was that you? Bug Nana? Who was that? Somebody's not liking up. Hey, so that's the story. That's the Jack. I'm going to be drinking more of this later on today on Tracer 5 years ago. Tracer, you know the band, called it quits. They pulled the pin and they made an announcement on the Facebook machine. It was on the 18th. No, it wasn't. That's the day today. It was on the 16th of February, 2021 skins. No, 2018. 5 years ago. 2018, on the 16th of February, Tracer pulled the pin. Every year on the day since then, we've been doing a little trip down memory lane, a little remembrance of the band, playing some music, some live cuts, digging up some footage from tours. I've got an extensive backlog of video content from, I guess, from 6 or 7 years of touring, from 2011 through to 2018. Lots of tour footage from that time, and we're going to dig through some of it today on the stream. I actually, and I'll explain it more later on because it's going to be a separate stream. But when I was looking through the archives, I went random, right? It's all chronological, but I just hit a random selection, and it turned out it was the very first interview that Pat Saraceno ever did with the band. Pat Saraceno being a temporary touring bass player who came in after Lee Brown left the band. Lee Brown and Mike Brown being the former formation. What's the word? Formators. That's the wrong word. Lee and Mike started the band, 2 brothers, and Dre joined later as the drummer. And, they all toured around the country playing as the Brown Brothers, saving money to make their actual band, Tracer, somewhat economical. Anyway, long story short, Lee decided to leave the band and remain in Germany, which he still is to this day. And Pat Saraceno was called up. And I'll explain how this all went down in more depth. But ultimately, Pat was like a fill-in for the time that it needed to be. We're on the road and we needed a bass player. And so he came in, and the footage I've dug up was his first radio interview and then first show at the Wolverhampton Slade Rooms in the UK. So if you're interested in seeing that interview and a little live cut from that show, the very first thing he played with the band on stage, that's coming up on the stream later on. I did have a conversation with Pat, and unfortunately, due to the time zone, he's in Buenos Aires right now, still living over there. The timing isn't going to work for us. We can't have him on, but he did leave me some comments that I'm going to read out on the stream. So if you're interested in that, it's kind of a strange one because we're celebrating the band, but Pat's not in the band, but he was a part of it, and for that era, and it was just random that I stumbled upon that footage. So that's what we're going to look at, and then maybe I'll drink some Jack. Of course I will. And maybe we can take your requests. You know, if you've got some good live cuts, there's a whole bunch of good live stuff on the internet of Tracer. I always go back to the Rock Palace show. That was, I mean, that goes way back even before Pat with Lee in the band, but that live performance is phenomenal. But you might have some other stuff that I haven't seen, so that'll be really cool. Yeah, and I'm probably going to try comparing this with the real Jack. I got a bottle. I bought a real bottle of Jack to celebrate. That was part of the Tracer tour, so it's kind of like, it's part of the DNA. John, I already like the stream. Thank you, man. I have one of my cousins on my dad's side who plays in the band as his career. He plays in which band? You mean The Final Countdown by the band? The Final Countdown is by a band called Europe. We were touring in Europe, not with Europe. Mind you, there was talk, interesting you should say that, there was talk at one point of Tracer touring with Europe in the States. That was definitely a thing that came up. I'd forgotten about that, but there was, and I believe it was poo-pooed from memory. This is why we need anyone from the band, probably Mike, to come in and confirm. But I think I remember the conversation that's like, they want to put us on a bill with Europe, and I think Dre was like, what, the band Europe? Like, I can't even do the because it'll get flagged here for the melody, but you know the song. And I think Dre was like, we're not going to do that, are we? What, those old dudes? No, we got to get a younger audience. Put us on the bill with Violent Soho or someone cool, not the final Countdown yahoos. They're already washed up and washed out. So anyway, I remember that, but that's not. We'll get into that later on. I'm going to go and buy a boat right now, though. I'll explain why later, but I'm going to go and buy a kayak and then I'll come back and we'll drink Jack and have a good old time together. I still see 4 likes and 5 watching. So if you thought this was somewhat interesting, please give me the likes. If you're watching this on the replay, do all you can. Like this shizzle up. Leave a comment. I always look at comments. If you're going to be a dick and abuse me, I just hide you from channel. God bless the hide from channel feature on YouTube. It's the greatest thing to come to YouTube ever. I see comments like, someone commented on one of my surfing videos, why don't you learn to surf instead of worrying about filming? Hide user from channel. They keep commenting. They think that we're seeing it. Nobody sees it, and they don't even know that we don't see it, unless they're watching this. Unless you're the dick who's commenting that crap on my surfing videos, and unless you're here right now, you won't even know that we're not seeing it because you don't get a notification that I've hidden you from channel. So you can keep posting all the things you want, and I don't see it. Nobody sees it, but you think we see it. It's perfect. It's the greatest anti-troll mechanism on YouTube ever. So thank you. Well, not Susie. Susie split, didn't she? I'm gonna have to unfollow her. She left YouTube. She's the only channel that I publicly subscribe to, Susan Wojcicki, and she bailed. So she's getting a big unsub from me. Folks, let's get the hell out of here. I can waffle on and on and on, and I'll be doing that later on when I'm drinking some Jack and listening to Tracer. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon. Also, a fresh bottle of Jack will be up there next time. Not today, but next time we see each other. Jack behind me is a new bottle. It'll be there for 10 weeks. Then I'll put this green shirt on again and my father's cufflinks, and we'll do another one of these Jack Daniels streams. Appreciate you all. Get the hell out of here. Have a good time, and I'll see you on the flip side. Cheers. Eases, beers, kneeses. Get out of there. Get him out of there. Stay up there.